Hello, everyone, and welcome to Frisco, Texas, site of the 2017 U.S. Youth National Championships. It's under 13 boys group action here as we've got Real Jersey FC against St. Louis Scott Gallagher. Real Jersey led by John Copito, and Matt Mueller leads St. Louis Scott Gallagher as we are underway. Scott Gallagher going to be clad in the yellow with the green numbers, and they are countered by the all blues of Real Jersey. Scott Gallagher ends up with control here in the early going. First minute of play here. That one was chopped away as Jersey FC trying to gain possession. It's been a midfield battle here in the first 60 seconds or so. Real Jersey FC out of Medford, New Jersey, and Scott Gallagher obviously out of St. Louis, as their name would suggest. Left-footed shot, didn't get too much steam behind that one. Jersey FC trying to go on the counter-attack as they loft one over the top, intending that one for Kluo. He had it knocked away as Gario was able to get a piece of it, settled down by Lewis. Once again, Kluo trying to get it into the attacking third for Jersey FC. Nice moves, cutting it through the middle was Thomas Napoli. But the ball ended up too far away from him, and trying to gain it back, foul was committed. Still kind of in that feeling out period here. It's the first game of the tournament for these two teams. Advantage given, and it quickly dissipated. Up the wing, Rolando. And that one will actually go back in for JFC. That would have been a tough decision for both officials if that had gone over the line, and it ends up staying in. Kept in now along the midfield for Lewis. He's forced to go back to Evan Hill. He tries to send one up the sideline. Hill will get a return pass instead. Now there's a bit of space for Scott Gallagher. One touch passing in towards the corner. Wicknine had it touched out. We'll have a throw in for Scott Gallagher. Once again, we welcome you in regardless of where you're watching, whether it's St. Louis, Medford, or all points in between and beyond. Todd Panula along with you here on this Turbo Sports production of the U.S. Youth Soccer National Championships. Day one, we are in the group stages as that one hops over the fence and most likely rolls out onto the road. Good luck for whoever has to go get that one, as that is a busy road over there. As we sit in the shadow of Toyota Stadium. Literally probably a couple football fields away from where FC Dallas plays their home games. And Saturday night's going to be an interesting situation, as FC Dallas is actually going to have a home game. But this age group is going to be playing their championship games on Saturday during that same time period. So there's going to be a decent amount of traffic. You're going to have the regular game traffic plus all the families and scouts and everything coming in for this. So definitely going to need to get here early if you plan on coming in for that championship game. If one of your teams happens to be playing in it. Cutting it in towards the box. Laid back. Scott Gallagher able to clear it at least for now. As it was a good play there by Nicholas Juszczak to get it into a dangerous area. Never came in, and as an official myself, that's one of the little intriguing things that differs depending on age groups and obviously what level you're officiating at, because I do high school soccer. And in that instance, the ball would have gone to the other team at the spot of the throw-in, but instead you get to do it over here at this age group in USYS. Trying to push it up the far wing, a number 10. Braden Short looking for some space. That one was taken away. Kluel in a tussle over on the far sideline. Couldn't win it. Real will get it on the throw. Plenty of umbrellas over on the far sideline, but very few clouds in sight. That's mainly just due to the sunshine. We're expected to get into the mid-90s here as this one's lofted in towards the keeper, but handled fairly easily there. William Reeves with his first official touch on the ball. As Real starting to work possession a little bit more. Slotted through. Only one player back in defense. Coming in on the back door was Peter Farley, or excuse me, Tyler Davidson for Real. And he was wide open, but instead the cross and or shot never got all the way through as the goalkeeper Reeves was able to get in front of that one. Now again, Kluel working it up the right-hand side. Slide tackle, no good from Hill. Second attempt was able to clear the danger, at least for a moment. Now the volley only finds the fence in behind the goal. There were some good possession and attacking moments for Scott Gallagher in the opening few minutes, but here we are in the 8th minute, and Real Jersey is really starting to kind of put their stamp on this game a little bit. Marino able to send it all the way up as he gets his first touch with the foot. Now Kluel with a bit of space. Again, only two defenders in behind for Scott Gallagher as they play a much more marking defensive scheme as opposed to the classic flat back. They've got the right back up in the attack right now as Rolando looking for some space, getting encouragement from his coaches to take him on. He ends up putting it right back into the opposition. And here comes Real. A good cross, although it petered out a little bit towards the end, coming off the foot of Kuldanek. That's well spotted as Guerrero stepped in front. Too strong for Smailovic. And now Real in control again. Slotted through, dangerous ball past the keeper and just wide. A fantastic ball through coming off the foot of Juszczak. But the shot went just awry. And they go short off the goal kick and kind of putting themselves into a dangerous area here. Is Scott Gallagher able to kind of absorb the pressure and get away with it? Pressure coming, and like 9 able to absorb it, win the throw. Going to get an early substitution here for Scott Gallagher as John Lee will come into the game. John Lee comes in. Peter Farley is out. Seems to be reasonably a like-for-like substitution in terms of where they slotted on the field, although Lee seems to be a bit more central, where Farley was slightly more out on the wing. And here comes Kluo. Real on the attack. Played on through to Juszczyk. He's going to track it down. And we're going to get a whistle well behind. Bit of admonishing there. It's Giuseppe Giro. Called for the foul. And Real called for the offense. And we're going to get another substitute for Scott Gallagher. Into the game will be Peyton Matthews. Evan Hill out of the game, and he was not too pleased with that fact. Coach Mueller not too pleased right now with what he's seeing in terms of the, not necessarily the effort, but the completion of the plays by his team. Now a shot towards the far post. Getting down to cover that one was Reeves. Now the subs coming fast and furious for Scott Gallagher. There's a couple more, make it a trio of players about to come into the game. Real starting to really kind of put the clamps on this one. Still in the 13th minute of play, and that one very close to danger, as Reeves didn't put enough on that one, and it just barely scraped by the attacker. I almost feel like if Juszczyk had stuck a foot out, he probably would have been able to get a piece of that one. Good sliding challenge, is able to keep it away from Juszczyk on the attack. Gario looking for space out in front. Nicely lofted ball finds Rolando. He continues it on. He was intending that one for Hardy, but instead it was cut out at the last moment, and it will be a Scott Gallagher throw. Gio Gario will come out. Into the game will be Nick Taylor, also Brendan Stillars, and Ryan Harviton. Matthews back for Harviton, wins another throw. that's actually my mistake. Gary O didn't come out of the game. He was put in a more defensive role, although it seemed like he had originally been playing back there. So he was initially called over by one of the incoming players. That's why I thought he was coming out. But it must have been just to give some instruction without him coming all the way over to the sideline to talk to the coach. Scott Gallagher getting a little bit more possession, and then as I say that, it's thwarted. On the attack goes Kluel. He doesn't have too much in the way of numbers. The substitution that I had failed to mention initially was Miguel Greterol. He came in for Nicholas Juszczyk. So an interesting swap there, as it didn't seem like Juszczyk was all that fatigued. And he had been doing some good work to get in on the attack, and a bit of a careless foul there is just kind of sweeping the leg from behind. But Greterol is down in a heap. Not really sure what happened, as that one was away from the ball. So they're going to send a trainer on, so Greterol will come on. We're going to have the water break here in the 17th minute play. So now he's up, no worse for wear, it seems like, kind of brushing along the nose. And Greterol's time in this game will be brief, as Lucas Carey will come in for Real. A little over 16 minutes played here in this under 13 boys group action. Day one of the USU Soccer National Championships. Game one of these teams' foray into this tournament. A guaranteed 3 games, and then you see where the chips fall. So the water break is over, and as I mentioned, Miguel Greterol had come out, Lucas Carey into the game. They've put Kluel in that center attacking role. So now we're back underway after the hydration break. 17th minute of play here, so we're just about halfway through it. So we play 35 in this age bracket. Nice touch around the defender. On the attack, Lee looking for the return pass. Slotted through, but it was a bit too direct, and there's a collision. Goalkeeper is down. Marino looks like he's going to be able to shake it off, as both the defender and Lee for Scott Gallagher all kind of collided there once. Tough settle there, but a good one for Matthews. Now Rolando slices through 2 defenders, puts that ball on a string, lays it back for Lee. Continued on for Wagoner. Wagoner gets it back. Coming out wide this time. Rolando towards the end line. Forces the cross. It's loose and they score! A miscue there. The goalkeeper, Marino, came out trying to claim it. I think he was kind of in between decisions there, as he wanted to catch it first, then decided he wasn't going to get to it, tried to stick up one hand for the punch. Couldn't get enough on it. And ultimately, Gallagher will take the 1-0 lead. So a goal in the 19th minute. And that was a dangerous sliding challenge. You had to win the ball, and he did exactly that. Well-timed, well-placed. Now a good shot, and they score! What a cracker of a shot! A beautiful, well-placed, blistering blast as it collided with the woodwork, and just like that, with the snap of a finger, Scott Gallagher is up 2-0. I believe that was Wagner to get the goal. We'll try to check on that one during halftime. That one was just a little too far. That one holds on over the head of the goalkeeper. All of a sudden, things very shaky at the back for a Real jersey. Two goals in the 19th minute coming here for Scott Gallagher. And it's interesting how the pendulum can swing that quickly, because it was all Real Jersey FC before that. And suddenly something just springs, a miscue by a goalkeeper. Not to say that Marino is to blame at all, but playing the position myself, those are the kind of plays oftentimes that if you get a touch on that one, you always feel like there was something that you could have done better to keep that one out. And you have to figure that that's going to be in Marino's mind, and he's just got to shrug it off and hopefully. And he's got to hope that his teammates can pick up the slack now, as they created plenty of chances, just couldn't get that good finishing ball in towards goal. But that's how quickly momentum can swing, as all of a sudden Scott Gallagher in firm control of this one.
Well done, GG. Cover Peyton. Good, Bobby. Well done, Bobby. Good positioning. Good, Nick. Relax.
Matthews puts on the brakes, has it stolen away. Just Jack, who'd come back into the game, was trying to go for Kluel. Gave a bit of a knock there as that ball went away, and a good sliding challenge from Kuldanek. The heat's starting to pick up. We were in reasonably comfortable temperatures this morning. There was a nice breeze. The breeze still going a little bit, not quite as firm as it was before. Matthews in control of it now. Scott Gallagher pushing the ball up the near sideline, cutting it back towards into the middle. Looking for Lewis, able to find him. Lewis sliding one through. Flag stays down, but the defenders were able to deal with it. On the ground for Hardy. Laid on back. Guerrero for Wagner. Slotted on through to the far sideline from the corner. Too close to the goalkeeper. Easy there for Marino. So Scott Gallagher has done what they needed to do following those couple goals, because oftentimes when you score, that's when you're most vulnerable. You kind of let your foot off the gas a little bit. The game itself has slid into a little bit of a lull for both sides, but if you're Scott Gallagher, you'll take that the rest of the day, already being up by 2. A trio of subs about to come in, 2 for Scott Gallagher and 1 for Real Jersey. It's going to be William Kluel back into the game after getting a bit of a breather for Real Jersey. Evan Hill, and I cannot see the number of the third substitute, second for Scott Gallagher. We'll get that when he comes into the game. A decent cross there, but ends up catching a little bit too much of the wind. So the third substitute will be Anis Smilovic. And a fourth substitute comes in a little bit late. That's going to be Nicholas Calambas. Back into play now. So we've got about 10 minutes and change left to go here in this half. Guerrero's feet were taken out from underneath him, so a quick free kick taken for Scott Gallagher. As they work it up the far sideline again. Looking for a little bit of space towards the top of the box. One-touch passing. Shot comes in. Not sure if a defender got in front of that one or not, but a lot of the sting was taken out from underneath it.
Second ball here, yellow. Second ball. Together. Wait till he steps in. Now we go. Come, Gigi, come. Good. Johnny, keep arriving. Wyatt, keep arriving.
Juszczyk dribbling, taking on defenders. Good sliding challenge again. Juszczyk trying to regain it. Scott Gallagher trying to get it out of a dangerous area here. They're able to at least get a little bit of a breather as that one goes out for the throw. Back in quickly, though, as they were looking for Kluo. Now an ambitious chance. That was very hopeful there, coming off the foot. But coming from about 30 yards out, the best you could hope for on that shot, if you're a Real Jersey fan, is that it kind of took an odd hop off of a blade of grass and perhaps changed direction. Continued on through as Harvington got a last touch. Dropped on for Lewis. Now Lee.
Keep it again, Nick. Good. Keep it again, Wyatt.
Lewis all the way back for Guerrero.
Well played.
To the top of the box. Smilovic putting on the brakes is Hardy. Defender can't clear. Right-footed shot. Score! 3-0, Scott Gallagher. So in the 28th minute, Scott Gallagher has tripled their lead now. Coming into the game, once again, will be Liam Oiknine. So a lot of work to do here for Real Jersey. As that goal was for Ryan Harviton. So in the 28th minute, Harviton makes it 3-0. As this one tight along the sideline. Clue will able to get a knee to it, but it'll go back towards Scott Gallagher as they are going left to right on your screen. Once again, Todd Panula welcoming you in. Hopefully you're enjoying today's action, regardless of who you're rooting for. Obviously a little more difficult situation for Real Jersey as they really had things in control in the first 7 to 10 minutes. But a bit of a random goal to score that first one for Scott Gallagher, and they have not looked back. Now the goal scorer, Harviton, drops it back. Guerrero. Stolars continued it on to the far side. Hill was there. Smilovic. Decent ball through to the corner. And Marino saw it all the way. Confident goalkeeping there. You like to see that for the simple fact that sometimes you get all these goals past you, and regardless of whether it's your fault or not, goalkeepers can be a fickle breed. I know from personal experience. If you let things kind of get into your head, then all of a sudden you see that fourth and fifth one go by, and there could have been something done about that. So there's a collision here on the near sideline. That goes into touch. And we'll have another substitute for Scott Gallagher as Jack Hewlett will come into the game. And that will give Nicholas Taylor a rest, as he put some decent work in as a substitute himself. Too strong there from Stolars. Calambas able to win the throw as he's doing some yeoman's work over on the far side. Now the cross right into the body of the defender. Reeves out to claim it, but the linesman put the flag up, and it's going to be a corner kick. Reeves a little bit upset that he couldn't save that one. Either that or he thought it was saved and upset with the call. Regardless, the end result is the corner kick forthcoming from Real Jersey FC. They go short. Calambas puts it right into the defender, and now Scott Gallagher could be off to the races. Plenty of blue numbers in behind. Calambas able to win the throw-in once again. They go quick once again. Trying to take advantage, perhaps catch a few defenders napping, but it hasn't happened so far. Short in a tussle. Comes up on the short end, no pun intended. About 2 minutes to go in regulation here in the first half. Be interesting to see if they put any stoppage time on the end of this one. Once again, Smilovic coming back, getting a piece of that one. Once again, numbers collapsing on the attacker, and Coach Mueller upset at what he feels was a little bit of a bailout call. Kitch plays it, coming out. Reeves getting a piece of it, but not with control. Looking for the corner kick, and they will get it. Charles Kitch did a good job of putting that one in a dangerous area, as William Reeves is once again, like his counterpart, kind of caught in between ideas there. So he looked like he wanted to try to catch it, and either fumbled it or tried to punch it at the last second. This time he makes a clean claim as he goes over the top of his own defender. Reeves wanted to go quickly there, but the coaching staff for Scott Gallagher yelling and screaming from the near sideline, telling him to hold it up, as there's probably only about 30 seconds left in what would be regulation time of the first half, and we'll see how much time they add on. 3 goals. In the old days, that would probably mean about 3 minutes added on, but they've kind of altered what they want to do with additional time. A lot of referees won't even add hardly anything on, and that will be the case here. Only about 20, 30 seconds put on to the end of this half. It started off all Real Jersey FC, but they couldn't put one in the back of the net, and that might have been their undoing, as St. Louis Scott Gallagher rebounded, took advantage of a couple miscues, scored a beautiful goal for their second and third one, and now they're up 3-0 as we head to the second half. I'll take a quick break here for your halftime, and when we come back, we'll have the second half of this matchup in the U13 boys group action. And welcome back to Frisco, Texas. Todd Panula along with you here as we're just about to start the second half between Scott Gallagher and Real Jersey FC. Scott Gallagher with a 3-0 halftime lead. 2 goals in the 19th minute and 1 in the 28th. That stands as the difference right now as the center official just waiting for the official confirmation to start this one back up. There it is. We're underway here in the second half. Another 35 to go before this one is decided. 35 minutes yet for Real Jersey FC to try to climb their way back into this one. Perhaps not even get an equalizer, but at the very least perhaps get their goal differential back to a more respectable number. Obviously, if you're St. Louis Scott Gallagher, you want to obviously try to increase the lead, but you'd really like to have just a solid second half, no mistakes, just kind of knock the ball around. Don't try to waste time per se, but make sure that you're marked up very well and just try to play good fundamentals. As this one will go out about 10 yards to the left goal, and it's going to be an early corner kick coming up. They go low along the ground. Not sure about the wisdom of that. They were trying to slide it in, I believe, for Kluo. So he was trying to put a body on the defender and get that one to settle in on the instep, but the training ground move didn't quite work. You go a little higher this time, and still the result is the same. Closer to goal this time. Reeves came out to try to punch it away, was unsuccessful, but fortunately for him, there were enough bodies in front that were able to clear that one away. But Real Jersey looking to get things going here as they've had a good attack a couple times, some early chances on the corners. But Scott Gallagher, once again, working those fundamentals, trying to pass it around through the triangle. Miscommunication there as Joseph Sino wasn't able to get good possession of the ball. Hill for Wagoner. Still didn't get official confirmation as to whether he was the goal scorer or not, so you can check up on all the official results and scores and standings, of course. Just go to tournaments.usyouthsoccer.org, and they will have all the updated standings. If not during the games, then definitely right after, as that one was allowed to roll out of play. Good sportsmanship there as both players helping each other up. Gallagher working it through the midfield. Lewis back for Wagoner. Rolando was trying to track it down over on the far sideline. Instead, it'll be with Scott Gallagher again. We have a substitution trying to check in. Doesn't look like it's going to be successful, though. Normally that's not allowed, but apparently Ryan Kuldanek will exit the field over on the far sideline. And checking into the game was Lucas Carey. Rolando trying to come away with the steal. Instead, it's lofted over into the crowd. Guerrero filtered through to Lewis. Guerrero again. Wagoner. And now Farley with a little bit of space. Finds Oiknine here on the near side, putting on the moves. Left foot, trying to get the cross in. Defender dealt with it initially. Still in a dangerous area. Spin shot! Just wide. Owen Hardy with a great turn and shoot. And that one looked like it was earmarked for the upper 90. But it just had a little too much on it and not enough bend. Things getting a little loose here as Real Jersey FC continually giving away possession. And now that sliding challenge will be whistled and Scott Gallagher picks up a foul. Miscommunication there between Farley and Hardy as they both kind of came towards the ball. This one played back for Reeves. Smart play there. Instead of just aimlessly booting it away, played it back for his defender. And now Scott Gallagher able to keep possession as they get it in on the attack with Hardy looking for a bit of space. Options kind of drying up now, but Rolando able to push it towards the box. Regain possession for the moment. Wagoner dropped it on back for Lewis. He'll continue it. Gio Guerrero. Now for Oiknine. Farley. And that was close down. Oiknine with the cross to the back post. Marino able to get his body in front of that one. Just not really any option to get power behind that one. It was good play there. Just a few feet shy of the goal line. But the ball was just lofted up too much, and it would have been just too difficult to really kind of get that snap onto the ball. Gigi Guerrero was able to get the pass off. And now a semi-dangerous position here for the free kick coming up for Gallagher. SLSG with a 3-0 lead. Once again, 2 goals coming in the 19th minute and then a third in the 28th. None so far here in the second half. A very long 10-yard set up there, at least from my vantage point. That'll give Scott Gallagher plenty of opportunity to get this one up and over the wall. They go short with it. Wagoner, one touch into the box. They tried to go short side. It goes off of the keeper, and it will stay out. Liam Oiknine is going to put a left footer into this one. Try to put it into the mixer. Looking for that flick, just missing it was Hardy. That one will go out. No touch on it, so Gallagher will get the throw and a substitution. Looks like Gigi Guerrero will come out. And into the game will be John Lee, taking a more defensive role this time, as he had been more in an attacking position in the first half when he came into the game. Graterol, who has shrugged off that first half injury, able to put that one out off the attacker and gain himself the throw. Lewis was kind of sandwiched in between two blue jerseys and came away with it. More fresh legs about to come on for Scott Gallagher as they send it here to the near side for Oiknine. Drops it back for Hill into the middle. Lewis looking for a little bit of space, tried to split the defenders and cut it a little too finely. Kluel able to get the pass off to Napoli. Stolen away by Lee, who's pushed up. Wagoner having to drop back a little bit now. Now pushing it into a dangerous area. And gaining the corner kick was Juszczyk. A quartet of substitutes now coming on for Scott Gallagher. One of them is going to be Stolars, but they're going to wait until after this play is finished. One touch through. Quick save there. William Reeves getting down, ranging to the left. As Keith Brown was able to get a right foot into that one. Kluel trying to chase it down. He's going to get there first, but he could do nothing but try to toe poke it towards goal, as that one was well cut off at the very end by Robert Pauly. So we'll take the easy route and list the substitute for Real Jersey first. It's going to be Nick Calambas. As I mentioned, Stolars coming into the game for Scott Gallagher, as well as Nick Taylor, Ryan Harviton. Gigi Guerrero comes back into the game as well. And Peyton Matthews will be the final substitute. It's always interesting to see how teams set up formationally. As Scott Gallagher, you know that when you put it down on the team sheet, it's not how they're listed. But when they go in on the attack, you would almost classify them as playing a two-back system. Is for the most part, it's been Pauly and Guerrero doing the bulk of the defending. And the way that they have them lined up right now, you'd almost say that they have 4 attackers. It's kind of funny to look at from a neutral's point of view, because the formation almost looks backwards in terms of having a flat back across the attacking line and the 2 defenders in the back. But it has worked very well so far in this one. I'd really be interested to see how you'd write down that team sheet if you absolutely had to classify people as defenders. You'd probably say Evan Hill would be the left back at present, and, although he's been pushing up well into the midfield much of this contest. Real Jersey just trying to hold on here, perhaps scratch something out. Instead, it's Scott Gallagher getting in on the attack. They try the shot. Getting a fingertip to it was Marino. That one will go out for the corner kick. And once again, Real Jersey caught napping a little bit on the defensive end. Their defenders not able to deal with the speed of Gallagher. And St. Louis almost putting in a 4th. This time it was Rolando making his way in from the right wing. Lofted corner kick, falls down, left-footed shot. That one was blocked by Andrew Kitch. Rolando with another opportunity, gives it in. Rolando a second time. Too cute with the umbrella move. Trying to send it very direct. Looking for Columbus. Now Lee able to drop it back to Hill. Intended that one to get on through, but it didn't have enough steam to get on for Taylor. This one lobbed up high in the air again. Lewis getting a bit of a tug from behind. Hill with it now. Cheeky little touch there from Stolars. Doesn't get away with it. Kluel. And that is actually Juszczyk. A little bit of green in front of him, but cuts it back into the defender. It's going to be a corner kick, but good defending by Guerrero.
Hey, honest, are you subbing in? Johnny, Nick, organize us! Organize us! Wow! Hey, make sure we're tight! We're tight! Hey, honest, hey, make sure we're engaged, okay? Organize there. Win the second one.
Substitute was not allowed on that corner kick as Anis Smilovic trying to come back into the game. Now numbers pushing forward for Scott Gallagher. Rolando too heavy on the touch as he got it around that first defender. Now Smilovic will be allowed to come in. At least he will be after the hydration break, as we're going to have a stoppage here in the 19th minute. So 3-0 still your score as Scott Gallagher leads Real Jersey FC. First action here in the U13 boys group play. At this age group, there is only one group, so the top 2 teams will end up playing each other in the championship. So this is pretty much a foregone conclusion that the 2 teams that play each other in the finals on Saturday will have faced each other once before. And that always makes things somewhat interesting, is every once in a while you get a team that perhaps, if these 2 teams were to make the finals, Scott Gallagher, perhaps a little bit overconfident, goes into the finals thinking, oh, well, we won 3-0, 3-1, whatever the final score might end up being. And suddenly the tables turn in a championship game, but you have to get there, obviously. And that's what these teams are trying to do. And right now, still a decent amount of time left to try to alter this end result. But Scott Gallagher in firm control of their own destiny right now. So we're back underway here after the hydration break. Scott Gallagher still looking for that fourth goal, as they have really done a good job of keeping their foot on the gas pedal here. Because sometimes that's what you see. You get these early leads. You go into halftime feeling confident about yourself, up 3-0, and quick one gets scored against you at the very break of the second half, and things really change on the stopping on a dime almost. But Scott Gallagher has managed to avoid that. A few miscues here and there, just like that one, as Reeves was forced to play that one out. Didn't have too much in the way of options. Could have kicked it straight up the gut, but with an attacker coming in very quickly, he just decided discretion was the better part of valor, as that one just escapes Nicholas Juszczyk. So the heat really starting to pick up here as we close in. The last time I checked it, it was about 86, but that was in the first half, and I would not be surprised if it has climbed up into the 90-degree range. And we're only going to go up from there. High expected to be around 95, 96 here. And it doesn't sound terrible, but contrary to popular belief, if you've never really been down in this area, Dallas has a lot of humidity. A lot of people think Texas, they get the old westerns in their head, and they start thinking that, oh, well, it's kind of a, not necessarily a desert, but just a dry, arid heat. This isn't Arizona. This is very humid. The people watching from St. Louis and really even New Jersey, they'll know what kind of heat that is, and it gets very uncomfortable very quickly. Even if you're south of triple digits, sometimes that can still be worse just because the humidity really kind of doesn't allow the sweat to evaporate, and that can quickly take some energy away. Great pullback from Juszczyk. Gets it across, and they score! Real Jersey pulls one back. '57th minute. It's 3-1. So not that they've let themselves get out of the game at all, but Scott Gallagher going to really have to kind of put the clamps back down on this one. Tighten up those areas in the midfield where there's been a little bit more space for Real Jersey, because all of a sudden the lead has shrunk to 2. And still a commanding lead, but it doesn't quite look the same. little bit of spark now in the team out of Medford. Coach Capito doling out instructions, letting his players know where the open areas are and where he wants to utilize some more possession. And they're doing just that as they work the near sideline. A good ball through, sent in towards the box. Reeves thought about coming out to claim it, but it was always going out. So in the end, he just allows that one to clear the end line and do his best to defend this corner kick. They go short with it. And we've got a penalty kick. And just like that, the pendulum is starting to swing the other way. And that is one of those plays that as a defender, you just don't know what you should do because he sees the ball there. There's not a foot on the ball. You think you're going to make a clean challenge, and all of a sudden things change. And a big save coming in as William Reeves guessed correctly and smothered it with absolutely no rebound, much to the contrary of the U15 girls match that we had just this morning, to where the goalkeeper guessed correctly, made the save, but the rebound sprang out in front, and then the second chance was put in. No such opportunity there for Real Jersey. Is Joseph Sino was the one to step up and take that one. He thought he put it in a pretty decent area. Ultimately didn't end up close enough to the stick. And a good save was made by Reeves. The Stolars will come out of the game. Back in will be Oiknine. And it'll be William Kluel back in as well for Real Jersey. Now we're going to get a whistle behind that initial play, or I should say, what I had perceived to be the initial foul. They're actually going to call it back for that first challenge, and it's going to be a yellow card for Ryan Kuldenek. So a yellow card in the 61st minute for Ryan Kuldanek. Now it's on for Smilovic. Dangerously in towards the box. And Marino was able to come out and correctly guess which direction that shot would have been going. Those are always those dangerous plays for goalkeepers. You're coming out. Sometimes you think, maybe I'll go down to the left with my hands. Maybe I'll go to the right. He guessed correctly there and got nothing but ball, because if you go the other way, it seems like you're attacking the ball. But if it goes as it did with a touch by the attacker, all of a sudden the only thing that you have to defend is your legs, and then you put yourself in a position where you might give up a penalty kick. So quality goalkeeping there from Marino. And a little bit dangerous there from Kuldanek, as he kind of came in from behind, got away with it. The official not even allowing a foul to creep into his mind, but there was a bit of a knock from behind, and when you're already on a yellow card, you don't want to put your team down by a man, as they have already really kind of swung the momentum back in their favor. Obviously, that was snuffed out a little bit by failing to convert the penalty kick. But nevertheless, 3-1 still a bit easier on the mind in terms of trying to come back from than 3-0. Obviously, you'd like it to be 3-2 if you're on the short end of that. But the situation is what it is, and right now Scott Gallagher trying to push it back to a 3-goal lead. We're going to get a foul outside the box, but in a dangerous spot. It's going to be essentially a corner kick, but when it comes from that angle, you have a lot more options. You can try to send that one, chip the keeper. Marino, definitely not the tallest goalkeeper in the world, but so perhaps they might try to loft one over his head. Looks like they're going to go for the more straightforward cross. It's pretty much a line drive, and a good ball, but well spotted by the defenders. Wagner finds Lewis. Now an opportunity to take a drive, and once again, a little bit of the steam taken out of that one is Smilovic. Got a right foot into it, but didn't strike it cleanly. Rolando being closed down, still creating some space for himself. Well spotted, as that one was taken away by Andrew Kitch. Wagner for Scott Gallagher. A little bit cheeky from Taylor on the far sideline. Gets himself into the box. He's going to go for glory, but puts it over the frame. Subs coming in for both teams. Juszczyk will come back in for Columbus. Looks like Owen Hardy will check out of the game for Scott Gallagher. And Rolando back in. Off the defender, now off to the races. Kluel trying to use up all the green in front of him. And Reeves came very close to that one, had it well covered. The official was thinking about it a good long time, but ultimately decided that no touch was made off the fingertips. So a very brief pause for Columbus, pretty much just to get some instructions from the coach. He's going to come right back in, and it looks like he'll be joined by Stolars for Scott Gallagher. Taking a bit of spill was Taylor on the far sideline. Pinballing back and forth in the midfield. A sliding challenge was not successful in keeping that one in. So now the substitutes will be made. So another brief respite also on the part of Scott Gallagher, as they're going to put Owen Hardy right back in as well. 3-1 your score. 2 goals for Scott Gallagher in the 19th minute, and then a 28th minute goal by Ryan Harviton. And then a 57th minute goal for Real Jersey FC to put themselves back in a little bit more of a positive light. St. Louis doing a good job of just kind of possessing right now. Lewis on top of it. Bothered by Davidson as he's on the defensive side of things. Trying to get that one through to Columbus. Davidson was trying to go over the top. Andrew Kitch couldn't quite get a hold of it. Now Smilovich puts it in towards the box, left-footed shot, goal! An excellent score there from Owen Hardy. So we're only a few minutes away from the end of this one, and it's now 4-1. So 68th minute goal from Owen Hardy has pushed the lead back to 3. Jack Hewlett and Ryan Meister now for Scott Gallagher. Juszczyk. It'll be a goal kick for SLSG as they will put themselves on the right foot here today, getting a victory and a potential +3 in the goal difference box. And if you're Real Jersey FC, obviously this one not quite over, but you just kind of have to push the reset button and go into tomorrow with a fresh mindset. And really, I don't think you need to change a whole lot in terms of how they came out in this game. They possessed the ball well. They were working it around. They created some chances. And you didn't necessarily get the feeling that it was Scott Gallagher's game plan to just kind of try to absorb pressure and then take off from there. That's just kind of how the game ended up unfolding. So I think if you're Real Jersey FC, you can go into tomorrow's action and not feel good about the result clearly, but not necessarily feel too bad about the way you've played from an individual standpoint, because there were plenty of positives there at the very beginning. And then just when the goals started coming for Scott Gallagher, things came off the tracks just a little bit, and sometimes that's all it takes. So we had a stoppage in play there. As on my watch, we've hit the full time in terms of regulation, but you have to figure they were probably going to add on a little bit for the goals, and obviously the injury now, and you never really like to see that with the player holding his head a little bit coming off. And it seems to be no worse for wear. And coming into the game now will be Robert Pauley. So Peyton Matthews a little bit shaken up, but most likely he will be good to go tomorrow. Filtered on through here to the near sideline. The field behind us has ended their game, so it cannot be too much longer until ours hits the final whistle, as this one was lofted towards goal. Robert Pauley going for a little bit of self-glory in that one. But there is the final whistle. 4-1 is your final score. St. Louis Scott Gallagher, the victors here today. They will pick up 3 points and a +3 in the goal differential margin. Real Jersey, as I mentioned, they'll just kind of have to push the reset button and come back tomorrow a little bit stronger, a little bit smarter, because they didn't play a very bad game, but just all their mistakes were kind of taken advantage of, and there is where the credit lies with Scott Gallagher. That will do it for our coverage here today for the 13 youth boys group action For everyone here at Turbo Sports, hopefully you've enjoyed today's broadcast. Tune in once again tomorrow as we'll bring you all the action from around these fields. And once again, we will have the championship rounds for this age group coming up on Saturday night. So it should be an excellent tournament to cap off for them. Until the next time, I'm Todd Panula. Have a great day.